Tutorials. In today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how to put together a set of logo files to deliver to a client. So in a previous tutorial, I showed you how to create a logo, and now I'm going to show you the different file types that I usually put together to then deliver to the client. That way they have options for printing on business cards, a banner, putting it on their website, etc. So once you have your logo finished, so I have this one here, this is a Photoshop document right now, I'm going to save it as a JPEG. So I would go to File, Save As. I'm going to create a folder here that says Logo Set, and we will call this one, we're just going to call it the logo black, and I want to save it as a JPEG. Click Save. Okay. The next thing that I want to do is I'm going to make this a square file. So the reason that we do that is a lot of times when people put their logo on certain social media sites, like as an Instagram profile picture or a Facebook profile picture, it is a circle. So you need that file to be a square, that way it doesn't cut off part of it. So right now, if this was, let me pull up the square, if this was the profile picture, this is what would happen, is it would cut off the actual words, and we don't want that. So I am going to add some canvas on each side. So I'm going to extend the canvas size. So if I go to Edit, or I'm sorry, Image, Canvas Size, you want to make sure the middle is selected, and my extension color is white because this is white. If you had a different color here, you could select this and go to Other, and then use your little dropper tool and pick up the color. So I need the white there. And I want the width to be the exact same as the height. So I'm going to go to 11.76, hit OK, and now I have a square file for them to use for Instagram, Facebook, etc. So I'm going to also save that one as a JPEG. So I'm going to go to File, Save As, click on my logo set, and square, black, well actually let me do logo black, square, if I can type, and again that needs to be a JPEG. Click on Save. Okay, the next thing that we do is we make a PNG file, so that will create a transparent file. And what that does is that allows your client to place this logo onto a picture without having a white box around it. So when they when the background is transparent, the only thing that would be placed on an image or a colored background or whatever they put it on is the actual font in the image itself. So in order to do that, there's a couple steps. So you want to double click on your background layer and just hit OK. That just unlocks that layer. Then you want to create a new layer. So down here in the bottom, create a new layer. And while that new layer is selected, drag it below the current layer. And I have a separate tutorial on making a logo transparent, but it's basically these same steps. From here, while the logo layer is selected, so that top layer, you're going to delete out all of the area that you want to become transparent. So to do that, if you go to, usually it's easiest to do the magic wand tool here. Click in that background area, and then just hit delete. So anything that's checkered now is transparent. So when I zoom in, you're going to notice the A is not. So I'm going to click on that area and delete it out. That should be the rest of that word. And then the inside of these letters. And again, if you want a little bit more in-depth tutorial on making a logo transparent, make sure that you check out, I'll link that in the blog post below of how to make a logo transparent. Okay, So now it should all be transparent. And what we do from here is you're going to save it as a PNG file. So I'm going to go to Save As and select PNG. And it can stay a square, it doesn't matter, because that area is going to be transparent anyway. You're not going to see it, so it doesn't matter if it's cropped in or not. So logo black, transparent, and then hit save. You're going to get this little dialog box that pops up. Just hit OK. And then let me give you an example here. So this is a recipe on our blog, but what would happen now is if I were to place this file onto here. So if you go to File, Place Embedded, and let me get back to those, and I want to find the transparent one. If I place it on top of here, so you can see now there's no white box all around it. It's completely transparent. So a lot of times clients want to put their logo on a picture when they're advertising, so that looks much more professional than having a white box around it. So let me get off of there. The last thing that I do, especially for a black and white logo, or if they have a colored logo, is I will make a solid colored one as well. So since this one is already solid colored and it's black, I'm going to make a white version as well. So in order to do that, this one is pretty simple. I'm just going to make sure that my white is selected here, and I'm going to use the paint bucket tool, and all I have to do is click on all of the letters. When you get to the really skinny letters at the bottom, it's a good idea to zoom in. Almost looks like it has an outline around it. Yeah, it does. So I'm gonna should be small enough you're not gonna see it. So now they will have a white version as well. So with this white file, I'm gonna do a couple things with it. I'm gonna save it also as a PNG. So go to File, Save As, make sure you're in your logo set. I'm going to go to Logo, White. Oh my goodness, transparent. Save it as a PNG. Save. Okay, and then I'm also going to save it as a JPEG file. Oh my goodness, save as. JPEG, logo white, hit save. Okay, and oh, well, I can't do that. I'm crazy. You have to make sure that background layer is black before you save it as a JPEG. Otherwise, you're just going to end up with a white box. So backtrack on that one. The transparent layer is fine, but on this one, I want to make this empty layer on the bottom black. So if while that's selected, if I go to Edit, Fill, and I'm going to do black. Okay, so now I have this black version of the logo. Now I can save it again as the JPEG. So I'm just going to override that file that was there. File, JPEG, logo white. Just hit yes. Okay, and the last thing that I'm going to do is crop this so that they have another one that is the same ratio, there's 9 inches, there we go, as their first one. So they have a white version like this and a black version. So white on black, black on white. enter, and I'm going to go to File, Save As. You know what? Let me rename this one. Sometimes when I'm doing a tutorial, I'm talking and not thinking about what I'm actually doing. So this is a logo white, and this one's the square. This one that I'm saving now is just the logo white. And hit save. Okay. So now what I am delivering to my client is would be 6 files. So in those 6 files, they have just a regular JPEG file that is the black on the white. They have a white one on the black, both JPEGs that are cropped to a rectangle, and then they have the same that are square versions. And then in addition to those, there are the transparent files. So if they wanted to place these on a picture, they're not going to have that white box like this around it. So the checkered background indicates that it's transparent. So from here, I would do one of 2 things. Either you can make these into a zip file and upload or email that zip file to a client, or I use Dropbox, so I would upload these to a client's, their own personal folder and email that to them so they can directly download these files, and then that way they have that link and access to those, and if I were to add anything else to it. So if you want to check out Dropbox, make sure you look at the link below in the blog post, and I have that Dropbox tutorial on there. So that's it for delivering logos.
Thanks for watching this video. Make sure you stay connected with Urban Rhino on social media, and don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, comment below, and of course subscribe to our channel.